Good evening. This is Wild Rocket from Great Shelford in Cambridge with you for the next part of the Veganuary series. Today I want to talk about vegan breakfasts, seeing as apparently it's National Breakfast Week in Britain and seeing as we here in Britain love to institute sort of like holidays and like seasons in which we do things, whether it's Veganuary, whether it's Pancake Day or national whatever other kind of thing you want day. It's all going on here in the holiday department, which is nice, which is fun. You know, it's an enjoyable thing. But seeing as we have collectively decided that it's National Breakfast Week, I thought I would address the issue of vegan breakfasts. Now, you know, it's often said, and there's an element of truth in it, that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I think that's certainly very true and very profound, especially when we look at the root of the word breakfast. When you look at the word breakfast, this actually consists of two separate words combined to be used as one word. Breakfast, when broken down, spells break, fast. Break, which means to stop or put a halt to something or end an ongoing thing that had been occurring, and fast, which means to abstain from food and or drink for a certain period of time. Hence, the original meaning of breakfast, break fast, is to halt a period of fasting, you know. And that's very important, because if you've been going without food or drink for some time, to then go back and break that fast, to stop that process, is very important. So what you put into your body after a period of not having eaten anything is super important and very important to be aware of. Now to the most exciting part. What are the most exciting and fun ways to do a vegan breakfast? Well, let's start by making it very simple. Now, a lot of people in the UK and the USA and many parts of the so-called developed world love to eat some sort of cereal or grain for breakfast, which is okay, which is fine, but then a lot of people then go on to add milk on top. Now, if you were still very attached to having some grains or some cereal, one thing that you can do in order to make that a vegan breakfast would be to do something very simple, like replace your dairy cow's milk with something like soy milk, or even better than that, you could replace it with coconut milk or rice milk, which are both now readily and widely available in supermarkets. And you can buy even like organic rice milk now in cartons for £1. You know, a litre of rice milk for £1, which is great value for money considering what the alternative would be. So you could replace your basic with rice milk. But if you wanted to take it a step further, you can also replace a cereal, whether it's something like cornflakes or muesli, with something a bit more healthy for you, a bit less heavy in the gluten and the refined grains department, because refined grains and gluten are very detrimental to your health. But that's okay, because there are amazing alternatives out there. For example, there's buckwheat, which you can easily buy sprouted from health food shops or a bigger supermarket, and they make a great replacement if you put some maple syrup on them and incorporate them with some fruits like mangoes or dates and bananas, and with some rice milk. You've got a very healthy vegan cereal substitute there. So that's one thing you can do. Sprouted buckwheat is a great replacement for refined grains or puffed grains or rice. Another thing that you can do is do something which I like to do. If you have a food processor, something you can do which you would find really helpful, I think, is to make very simply a base of a cereal using just raisins and a bit of coconut oil. You can also add some green tea powder. You can also add dried fruits. In the winter time, when I was living in Japan, I had access to a food processor. I have access to a food processor now as well, but it's because I've been moving around so much, I've not had the time to sit down and really use it. But you can put raisins and a bit of coconut oil in the food processor and combine them and use that as a base for a very healthy cereal. You can add different powders to it to give it like a chocolate cereal like consistency. I like to add a bit of cacao powder to the coconut oil and raisin base and blend them together to make a nice sort of bowl of cereal, for want of a better word. Sometimes when I could find them, I would add dried mulberries into the mix. I would add prunes into the mix. That makes a really amazing base. Another great vegan breakfast, so my personal favourite vegan breakfast has got to be the chia seeds. The chia seeds are phenomenal. Chia seeds are gluten-free seeds which, when soaked overnight, become like this gelatin consistency sort of cereal. And the chia seeds are extremely high in protein, very high in magnesium, which is also what chocolate is very high in, but the advantage of chia seeds is you can get a high magnesium content without the caffeine from the chocolate. So chia seeds are a great replacement for chocolate, and as well as superb replacement for protein. I think chia seeds, I would put them up there with broccoli and spinach as one of the most amazing and healthy and high vibrational vegan replacements for protein, if that was something which were of concern to you, and if you're a bodybuilder, that would be something to really bear in mind. Soaked chia seeds, which is what I've been starting my mornings with recently, that's helped me incorporate more raw foods to my diet as well, because I'm someone who's, as someone who's 80–90% raw, I'm always trying to eat more raw foods and less cooked foods. So chia seeds is very helpful in that regard too. Chia seeds are also very high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are very good at maintaining the supple flexibility of your bones and your joints. Omega-3 fatty acids are also very good in maintaining the immune system. They work in tandem with vitamin C in that regard. So having omega-3 fatty acids, something like chia seeds, is amazing when taken with vitamin C. And it's just an amazing seed, and you can add it. It makes a great replacement when soaked in rice milk or coconut milk for porridge or oats. So I think chia seeds is really, for me right now, the holy grail and the pinnacle of what makes a vegan breakfast. What else can I say? I mean, personally, because I do yoga every morning, my breakfast usually consists of some form of liquid. Usually it's water spritzed with some lemon juice. Sometimes, if I have it like now, I have orange juice, I'll have some of that with it. And then later, after I do my yoga, I'll maybe have something like chia seeds or some chocolate or some fruit, depending on what I have available. Very often I'll start my day with just a cup of herbal tea. That really helps a lot. So I say, as well as the substitutions I talked about, the other piece of advice for how to do breakfast the vegan way is to break your fast slowly. I would start off with, just for the first 2–3 hours of the day, in order to reset the digestive system and set a good tone for the day, just going on liquids, maybe a bit of water to start with, and then some juice later on, or maybe a cup of herbal tea. And that really resets the digestive system and gets you dehydrated, so that when you do have a more substantial breakfast later on, it digests a lot better. So start your day off with liquids for the first 2–3 hours, and then incorporate something like chia seeds or fruit or oats or muesli if you have to. And yeah, keep going along the path. So this has been my video on vegan breakfasts. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please post them down below and I will read them and respond to them. Please like this video if you thought it was awesome. I'd really appreciate that, and I really enjoyed making this video. It's been a very interesting day. It's been quite a challenging day for me in many ways, but I'm glad I made this video because feel like I'm giving something back. And that's something very important. Have an amazing evening, everyone. Take care and good night.